Right, time now for Johnny's Interactive. Aisha Ibrahim is here. Good evening to Aisha.
Good evening, Israel. And this is a part of the news where you get to join in the conversation with your social media gadgets. You know, find us on Facebook as Joy News, on TV. It's the same name on Twitter. You can also send your WhatsApp comments also on 05608 and Israel and I will read them out. Please don't call. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back. I'm sure you have all your gadgets now, your phones, iPads, tablets, so that we can get interactive, because it is your most interactive segment. Another year where placing junior high school graduates in senior high schools has come, and not without its usual problems. Students continue to trend as issues of bribery and corruption, misplacement, overplacement, no placement rock the educational system. We've told you about the Wesley girls situation. More than 200 girls have been rejected after they were placed in the Premier Girls Senior High School. There's simply no space, according to school authorities. So what do young people make of this whole situation? News Generation spoke to some students of Ave Maria School in Accra, and this is what they had to say.
I think it's a very bad situation because the students have sacrificed all their time and sleepless nights to go over their books in order to achieve these high marks, in order to gain admission to that school, that school they choose. And right now, how they are not allowed into that school, it can cause them disappointment, and it can also bring stress onto the parents. And so I thereby suggest that they should check the system.
I would feel very sad, and my hopes will be crushed because that was the school of my choice and I wasn't accepted. So going to another school wouldn't settle with me because my spirits would already be dampened.
I think that maybe the reasons why they were rejected were because the school has their own, despite the fact that they had been placed by the computer, they had their own maybe cut-off point in the school. That's why they were rejected, because every school wants their students to do well in their WASI so that they will lift their name up. That's why they were rejected. And so I would think that maybe students should work harder to achieve their schools if that is what they want, because some people got into their schools, others didn't get into. You ask yourself, why weren't they able to get to their school? Maybe it's because their school too had their cut-off point. For example, a school like Wesley Girls, they might say their cut-off point is 480, but then when you get into the school, it will be around 500 somewhere there.
I think that it is that the system is very corrupt, that parents are paying their way through in order to have their awards admitted. That's why people who have been placed over there are being rejected. The system should be checked again, and that all people who pay their way through should be taken out of the school, and the people who gained admission to the school should be placed there.
I think it's just those who corrupt through protocol get to the schools that other people deserve should be punished when found out, and also we have to check the system that places students.
So let's see the messages coming on WhatsApp. But Israel, this is very serious. You know that.
Well, it is.
If your parents and your children are supposed to go to secondary school, I'm sure you'd be very worried.
And indeed, here's a case where they've told you that they've placed your wards in a particular school.
Exactly,
and
you have prepared so much. There's no space.
Yeah, we can't admit you.
So what do? And this is the school you chose. You know, normally when you choose the school, you have an upper hand, or you have an advantage over those you did not choose. So if I chose you as my first choice, you told me there's no space, tell me where to go.
And I find it actually very odd that the Ghana Education Service is saying that the heads should manage. The heads say they can't take the people.
Because probably there's no space for them to sleep.
I've seen some comments coming through on WhatsApp. There's Kweku and on Twitter actually. Right, so Kweku Anansi, he tweeted on the name Anansi Manso. He said, was that the best the GSPRO could say, that they should manage how will they
manage?
Indeed. How
already there's congestion in the schools.
How are they going to manage? But Kwekwanasi has other other things he has to say about our news tonight. Says Israel Lion Miss G, you mean? You wrote Miss V, but it's really Miss G.
Yeah.
What have you guys been eating? Look at Miss G's arms and
lies
biceps. That's you. What have we been eating? We've been eating a bit of kinky fish, some Sudan 4.
I think that's doing the magic.
It could be the Sudan 4 we've been eating. And he says, I've even lost memory. Shra still exists in Ghana, though. Finally, JD Mahama is obeying some recommendations, though. Joy News TV, hashtag Joy News Prime. So, yes.
And on WhatsApp, we have a lot of your comments coming in. It says, imagine your son being posted to Wale Senior High. Chai, very dangerous. And this one says, you didn't add your name. All these are due to our so-called big men protocols. Okay, this is from Afelete at Akuse. This one is also saying, GES pa. Edmond from who? This one is also coming from Robert Doma. He says, our leaders simply fail to plan ahead, and when disaster strikes, we run helter skelter. And Bernard is from Koforidé, says the young boy is on point. Parents are paying their way through, and it's preventing pupils from getting their choice of schools. Let's keep the conversation tight whilst you send in your messages. We're still talking more on education. You know, one of the most important elements of education is reading. And where do you go to read? The library, right? So, for concerned citizen Frema Boache, the state of the first library that was built in Kumasi was enough to prompt a social media campaign on Twitter. Save the Ashanti Library trended for most of the day. Let's have a look at that, Israel.
All right, so I've gone to the hashtag Save Ashanti Library, and P. Miller 5 crew says so he's posted a photo of the Ashanti Library here. So this is what they're talking about. Let's move to the next photo. So you can tell it doesn't look very good. The pictures that we have over there could be better, or something better could be done about it. But these are some of the photos that we have there. And there are a couple more photos coming through. Save Ashanti Library. Okay,
so let's speak with Frema Boache. She's on the phone. We really wanted to Skype with her, but it's not working, so we have her on phone. Hello, Frema.
Hello, Aisha.
Is this the first time you're making something trend? And how does it feel? I'm sure it feels good.
Yeah, it feels very good to see a project trending like this on social media.
Is this the first time you put something on social media and it's trending like that?
Yes.
Okay, but more importantly, you're asking for a 1 cedi contribution to fix this library. So what moved you to make such a passionate appeal?
It all started when the PRO of the Ashanti Library was on my station, and he made mention of the fact that the only 1992 constitution at the library has been stolen. How pathetic. So I took a trip to the library, and I realized the books are outdated, they are cracked on the wall, and the fear is that it might just cave in one of these days when it rains, because I understand the place gets flooded when it rains. So my team and I decided to embark on the hashtag Save Ashanti Library campaign and to solicit for funds, basically ask people to pay less than $1 to help buy books to refill the empty shelf.
So where should people who are touched by this passionate appeal send their 1 cedi?
On mobile money. It's that simple. Any mobile money outlet out there.
On what number?
0542569438.
Okay. Thank you very much, Boachi. And we wish you well in your help to fix the Ashanti Library. We asked you what you make of this campaign and whether you are willing to support. Here are your comments on Facebook. So what are the comments coming on Facebook?
Right, so we have some comments, but I just wanted us to go to her Twitter handle.
Okay.
So that's it, Save Ashanti Library, Frema Boache, and so she has retweeted a number of issues that have come up, a number of tweets that have come up. Yes, we can. Let's Save Ashanti Library, and resuscitate Ashanti. Finding the origins of your stress is challenging today, but this is not. So I once sat in this library. I once borrowed from this library. So Akwesi Abebrese, who's following the Save Ashanti Library hashtag, you can get onto Frema's page or Twitter handle and also get to support the cause as it is.
Well, let's see what's coming on WhatsApp. And BG from Kaswa says, I'm not paying any money apart from my tax. Trust me, this is not the work of the public. Well, she's not forcing people to pay. You do it willingly. Israel, you have some comments on Facebook?
So we posted it on Facebook. It was about an hour ago, and we have 15 shares on it. So Nantoma Mamadou says, as a concerned Ghanaian, I would gladly give more than that. That's very kind of you, Nantoma. Osajifo says, we need more chop bars in Ashanti region, not library. Oh,
my goodness.
Seriously. And then Pan-African Duncan says, I prefer paying library dues to the tax, because all the things the tax monies are used for are politicized, but that's not on the side of library dues. How will their donation be made? Thank you, madam. And she put out her phone number, if we could get the phone number to share. Patrick says, authorities in charge of the library need public whipping. Will they treat their own property like that? Shaking my head. Well, that's a good initiative, and I wish her the best. Boniface here says, this lady needs to be commended. I was there sometime, and it was an eyesore. I think the ministers with their fast salary should go do the same, like your outfit.
I'm amazed,
no, this one is actually for you, Aisha.
He says,
so Boniface says, this lady needs to be commended. I was there sometime, and it was an eyesore. I think the ministers with their fast salaries should do the same. And then ends by saying, I like your outfit, Aisha.
Thank you.
They're coming at you from wherever.
Some amazing comments on WhatsApp. It says that one is better than the one we have at Kita. So what's he trying to say? That they should leave it like that because it's even better.
Well, the Keta one too should be fixed. So probably he could also start the hashtag,
something like that.
Save the Keta Library.
You know, and people can.
I actually saw a comment earlier. Somebody had posted and said, Aisha looks like Tandra.
Oh my goodness. I don't think there was any message. This is your own message. We'll be back after this break. So are you enjoying the conversation? If you are, then please send in your messages and get interactive on the segments because there are a lot of interesting stuff coming in. I'm very sad this evening because I'm so shocked, and it's the same with residents of Isikado and almost anyone who has heard the story. This is the story of a 40-year-old chartered accountant who poisoned her children. The story, which has reached over 30,000 of our followers on Facebook, is also being shared widely. Let's take a few comments we came across on Facebook.
Right, so we have Honorable Hussein Razak saying, no matter the evaluations or sanctions meted out to this woman, the lost souls will never be resurrected. Let's try to nip some of these in the bud to prevent them from even occurring, rather than waiting to look for solutions when confronted with a problem. These kids could have helped Ghana in a way, but they are gone forever. May they rest in peace. Doka says she got the problem when she was having a second baby, and I think the man should have been with her for her to recover. So please don't put all the blame on the woman for me, I will blame the man for not taking good care of the woman and the children and went for another woman. Hamidu says, oh, so sad. Daniel says, a pathetic one. Genevieve says, what is the poison doing in her room? Genevieve, okay, Frederick says, if God doesn't save her, who can? Crystal says, for real, this woman has a mental problem. I met her at Ankafu Psychiatric Hospital whilst on my clinical, and I can boldly say,
really?
Well, she needs help. Yeah,
really,
that's
because I also felt same. I was asking questions whether
quite a revelation coming
she was
from
mentally
Crystal.
Sound, because nobody would do that to their children. But on WhatsApp, let's see what's coming there. Philomena Boabing of Gunas Radio says, oh, Ghana, why is this happening? Cry. I mean, in sub. Okay, she's talking about, well, and she adds that Israel looks good. I'm saying thank you on Israel's behalf. And BG says, oh, they have to bring that woman to me here. Make I give her 22 lashes at her bare back before she's being she's being jailed. And he says, I have more questions on compensation. Oh, he's not talking about this. He's talking about something else. And a lot of your messages coming in. Keep them coming. We've also had news about the Shraj boss, Loretta Lamte, who is on her way of exit because the recommendation has just been presented to the president for her to be fired. You know, she's been facing a committee of inquiry, and the president has accepted to fire her. We posted that on Facebook, so please send your comments coming. Israel, what do we have on Facebook?
Right, so the story has been, okay, so here it is. So Stephen says, sister, you see the problem we have as a Ghanaian, bribery and corruption everywhere. May God forgive this government, from Santa Maria Blue Cross. You can get onto Facebook and post your own comments.
Post your comments, and that's where we draw the curtains on the interactive segment. I'm sure you've enjoyed yourself on this segment. I have enjoyed myself, especially with Israel. Yes. That's where we draw the curtains. My name is Aisha Ryan. Good evening.
Joy News